Good morning, happy Friday. Welcome to the Pitch Strike Chronicles. I'm Uncle Taz. I'm here with Robinho and Donald, and the calendar has finally reached the day that we've all been waiting for. The Subway Series installment in the Bronx for 2025 is upon us, and it is the return of the other part of the Trent Grisham trade. Juan Soto is returning to the Bronx, and it is seeming to be hyping up for all it is worth. And I think every Yankee fan, every Met fan, every baseball fan has all eyes on what's going to happen tonight in the Bronx when Juan Soto first takes the field, takes his first at bat. Everybody's waiting to find out what the response and the reaction to his returning is going to be. I have some, opinions on that, but I am going to throw it to Robinho to kick this off. Rob, what do you think is going to be the response when Juan Soto steps up?
He's going to get booed. He shouldn't, but he will. I'm sure there'll be some fans that will cheer him, and there's going to be Mets fans in the building, so they'll cheer him. But I know they're going to boo the guy because they've been chanting F1 Soto for a good month now, and they shouldn't be doing that. But I personally don't think they should boo him at all. I wouldn't give him a standing ovation or anything. I'd give him like a tip of the cap, a thank you for last year. But at this point, once you get your first at bat out of the way, you're kind of just another player. Unless he hits like 3 home runs and boo the crap out of him. But yeah, he's gonna get booed. I know it. It's just he shouldn't. That's really all I can say about it. I don't like that there's so much hate for the guy. He didn't tell the Yankees to go F themselves or anything. He took a better deal, deal that's better for him and his family. I can't blame the guy for it. Do I wish he was still here? Of course, but hey, he's not. And we just got to make sure we get him out. And that's really it. But I know he will get booed. I hope it's not too insane, but hey, the guy got us to a World Series last year, our first appearance in a World Series since 2009, and he was a very big reason for it. Without him, we don't get there. Just that's got to be it. Yeah, I like what Jason's saying. Just cheer much louder for Grisham if you want to if you want to go that route. Just do that. That's perfectly fine. But he will get booed. He shouldn't get booed. That's probably the best way I can put it.
Donald, how are you feeling about the what do you expect the ovation to be for Soto?
It's not going to be pretty, man. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be loud. But I'm kind of with Rob here. Why bother booing him? Like, what are you gaining out of it? Think it's going to make him change his mind? Is it going to make him rescind his contract, and come back? It's kind of pointless booing him. You're just making your feelings known, and all you're doing is playing into the Mets' hands. You're playing in the Mets fans' hands if you act worse than them. You know what I'm saying? You should actually make a statement and kind of just like the best way to do it is just be silent when he comes up. You can maybe tip your cap or whatever. Nah, don't do that because he did reject us. Just be silent. You don't even need to be booed. Just be silent. And that would probably speak volumes. It would probably speak louder than if everybody just booed him for 50,000 because he's preparing it. That's what I would do. I mean, at the end of the day, like Soto's my favorite Yankee that we've acquired since day dot. I mean, I've loved watching him play. I loved him. But he never once lied to us, man. He was here for a good time, not a long time. He said it. And what can you do, man? You can't yell at him for it. That's what he said. He was going to be here for a good time, not a long time. You could tell because as soon as that final World Series pitch was made, his Yankee cap was gone and the Scott Boras cap was on. And that was it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, hypothetically, certainly. He was no longer a New York Yankee. Once that final pitch was done, he was no longer a Yankee. And he made everybody know that every single team has had an opportunity to get him. Now, do I think that this was that him going to the Mets was the best move for him? Probably not. I think the best move for him was coming back to the Yankees, but the best move for his family certainly was the New York Mets because the New York Mets really did a good job of playing on this whole family thing, and it worked. But there's no point crying over spilt milk, as they say. Um, just, I would salute him for. Well, I personally salute him for what he did, because this is our first World Series appearance in 2009. Now, do I love the fact he rejected us for the crosstown team? Absolutely not. Hence why I wouldn't even bother cheering him or anything. I'm not going to boo him either. So I'm just going to be silent. Just be silent. But I don't really have too much ill will towards the guy at all. Like, as I say, he's one of my favorite players to watch. And honestly, I haven't really thought about him that much, frankly. Like, we got Grisham. He's been great. You know, I mean, I'm thinking more about Tucker next year than I am about Soto today, because I'm only worrying about us. I don't really care what the Mets do. I never really have. And I still don't. I never have in the past. I didn't when he signed for them. I don't now. I honestly, if there's one team that I just do not care about, it's the New York Mets. I have no respect for them. They are just another team for me. They're just another team, another organization. I just don't have any respect for them. They are who they are. I just think that they're another team in the National League, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, it's look. Do I think there should be, the F1 Soto chance? No. You want to boo the guy? That's fine. He's just another opponent. That's the way I'm looking at it. I could see there being a lot more vitriol towards him if he was a Yankee for a number of years and then jump ship, over money rather than, being a part of because we've been spoiled by so many free agents and Yankees that came through the system that understood and respected the pressure of being a Yankee. Juan Soto, it didn't matter if the Royals gave the biggest contract, he was going there. So the fact that he's with the Mets now is just kind of, it is what it is. I don't think that he should really be hated. He made a decision for his family and his future, and future generations. I think because we would kind of put a lot of the things that Juan Soto on the back burner because it was irrelevant, like you were saying, Donald. We haven't really given him much thought, especially with the way that the season has started for us. When we have a guy like Judge, who is having one of the best offensive seasons that we've seen probably ever in our lifetime, and Grisham's been holding up his end of the bargain. So it's not like he's missed where we're struggling because he's not in the lineup. So it's just he's just another opponent coming to the bat. You want to boo him, that's fine. But I think every Met that comes to the plate should be booed, not just Soto, because that's just the competitiveness.
He's got the point here. Yankee fans will boo the Mets when they play at Yankee Stadium, as they should. And Mets fans will boo the Yankees when they play at Citi Field. So why is booing such an issue regarding just one player? Just to add to your point,
because he's the one that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do it any more for him than any other Met. You're right. It's a good point.
Yeah, because we've never been left at the altar before, so we don't know how to handle it. Yeah, so
we have. We have. I mean, there's been players that have passed up on
the fans in general just don't know they don't know what to do with themselves.
I mean, it's certainly the first time in modern Yankee history. It might be the first time ever that like a big time superstar who is a Yankee chose to leave. That hasn't happened before. Certainly not in our lifetimes. So it is definitely odd. I'm just trying to put a kind way of saying it. It's like very odd. And yeah, it goes to your point about the whole being left to the altar thing. And it is very unusual for us. So it's definitely an adjustment. It's an adjustment, but I think by and large the Yankees have adjusted very well, which is the only thing that matters because they're number one in the East, and the fans have kind of moved on okay as well. I don't think that there's too much crying over spilt milk once the season started. it's just been kind of like getting on with it. And Grisham certainly made things easy for us. Not that I'm expecting him to have a Juan Soto year, but certainly his first 2 months of the year has certainly helped ease the pain.
And Jason's saying that he's going to boo him because it's a Mets. He said it's a Mets town, always has been, and that they were the only good team for the next few more years. Well, he's got to cater to the new fan base. I mean, didn't Minter say that as soon as he signed? Like, it's the rivalry isn't really a rivalry between the two teams. The owners are friends. Cohen and Hal are very good friends. It's really just a fan-made rivalry, and just Derek Jeter said it best. They're just the Mets. We know George Steinbrenner hated them, but Derek Jeter was just like, look, they're just the Mets. I have said this countless times. Donald just said it 2 minutes ago. I don't care about them. Only when we play them is when I care about what the New York Mets are doing, because if we're playing them, I want us to beat them. That's about it. There's no rivalry because we don't play in the same league. We play each other 4 times, 6 times a year at most. There's nothing to really worry about. Let them be them and let us be us. But when it comes to a moment like this where we saw one of our best players from last year go to that team, and now he's making his first appearance at Yankee Stadium since the free agent signing, it's going to make for a big night in baseball, and that's why it's the talking point here. If it was a regular series where Soto maybe went to like the Phillies or something, it would just be the Subway Series. That's really it. It would just be another Subway Series. But because Soto went from the Yankees to the Mets, he made that jump from the Bronx to Queens. Now it becomes this big thing. And they are just the Mets. And I'm sure the Mets will say they're just the Yankees, even though they continue to try to tell us that they're the team now in New York, even though they're like 2 games better than us. I don't know. Let the Mets be the Mets. And
only the Mets think that they are,
only the Mets.
The Mets think that they're the best team in New York or whatever. Like it's just in their own head, as Duran's pointed out, man. They have 1 freaking World Series title, so let's like calm down a little bit. I'm not gonna spend the whole like podcast ripping the Mets. I just don't care. I'll be honest. Like if I was stepping back as a baseball fan, they've got a very good team. They've got a very good owner. That's good. Great stadium. I really like Citi Field. I think it's a beautiful stadium. There's very much arguments to be made that it's a better ballpark than Yankee Stadium in many ways. So I can say that. Absolutely. And you could also argue that they've got a better team than we do. You can argue that too. But I just haven't really spent that much time thinking about it, but it's good for baseball. This is great for baseball. It doesn't do anything for us because, we've kind of got bigger fish to fry in terms of like the season, but it's great for baseball. Juan Soto versus Aaron Judge, phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? The Mets and the Yankees with similar records, similar very good teams facing off. Great for baseball. That is great for baseball. So if you want to talk about that, 100%, it's great for baseball. Eyes will be on tonight. So this weekend in general. So these are all good things. These are all very good things, and the league needs it. The league's needed it. If anything, having the best player in baseball in Aaron Judge, and then the second best, Ohtani, third best, Soto, all having their own team is really good for baseball. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you take a step back, it's kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want. You want one star that leads their team, and we have ours. The Dodgers have theirs. They've got a couple. It's fair, and the Mets have theirs too. So the baseball's getting better as a sport, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's I know the rivalry is within the city. I'm seeing some of the comments, with that. But other than meeting 2 times a year, in a series, we really don't think of them. It's competitively, they really don't have an impact on our season. The rival is really the Red Sox. It always will be, or any other AL East team. Those are our rivals. Everybody else is just another team that we play a couple times a year. But the fans do enjoy, like, what, you don't think me, my brother Chris, and Nick aren't going to be texting all night, ripping each other on every play, every at bat? I got to charge my phone probably 3 times tonight, but that's where the rivalry is. It's within the fans. The players don't care. It's just another game to them. It's just they're just trying to get another win in the column. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
You think Juan Soto cares if he's getting booed? He'll be like with Altuve. It's just going to fuel him to try to, give us the middle finger.
That's right. That's why he always plays into his hands and the Mets fans.
But it's also, I hate referring to, I don't want to mention where we hear it, but that it's that little brother mentality. Don't give them any fuel to go that big brother, little brother.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the game for what it gives you and just roll with it. I'd rather you boo, Alonso than Soto.
There's certain players that thrive.
Yeah.
Amongst like booing and like vitriol. There's certain players that thrive in that atmosphere, right? One of them is the little midget in Houston. There's no doubt about it. Altuve absolutely loves it. If you don't react to Altuve,
crickets,
he's pretty much anonymous. But once you start booing him, he turns into fucking He-Man, right? So there's certain players that really thrive in that atmosphere, right? So I didn't understand why the Yankees kept booing him, because all it did was make him play better. If you just ignored him, he just goes back to being the little midget in Houston, right? But anyway, going back to the original point, there's a lot of players that thrive in that atmosphere. You know who thrived in that atmosphere? A-Rod. A-Rod loved it. When he went to Fenway, and all of Fenway had these masks for him, and they booed him, and over-inflated freaking needles, and they all did all that stuff. You know what it did? It just made him play like what he is, a Hall of Famer. And he started to crush them, and he crushed their souls. And we got the benefit of it because he was playing for us, right? But another one that thrives in that kind of atmosphere is Juan Soto. He loves the spotlight. He wants to thrive in the spotlight, so don't give him the spotlight. If anything, if the fans were smart, don't give him the spotlight, because he will torture you. He'll hit 2 grand slams. You know what I'm saying? Because if you boom and boom and boom and boom and boom, he is going to just get better and better and better, and he is going to just crush our souls this series. And he will. He absolutely will. It might be the only series where he just goes insane. And it's like 6 home runs or whatever, and drives in 26 RBIs. He could, because he loves the spotlight. So if I was giving any advice to the fans in the stands, don't feed into it. Just be quiet. That's what I would do. I don't want to wake up that beast, because Soto is a beast. And you all know it. And you're lying to yourselves if you don't think he's a beast.
I mean, it goes back to the conversation we were having weeks ago about how people need to calm down about his early season struggle. Because he's starting to hit now. So it's like, what is he up to? I think he had a couple of multi-home run games recently. He's now got 8 homers, 20 ribbies, and he's got an 845 OPS. So all of that nonsense that people were complaining about seems to have gone away, because lately he's been tearing the cover off the ball, as we all said he would, because he's Juan Soto. So yeah, my phone just fell. But do not wake up the beast, please, because I don't want to see him crush us for a 3-game series. If we can shut him down, that'd be fantastic. It would be great. But if you let him get hot, and we know what he can do at Yankee Stadium, damage. Don't let him do damage here. We got our 3 best pitchers going in this series, so hopefully they can keep him at bay, but it's very difficult.
I like this one from Sean Browning. Hey, y'all, we have Grisham is what we should. We have Grisham is what we should cheer instead of booing. I like that. We have Grisham. Definitely. I like that one. Good one.
Well, yeah, Donald, speaking of the chants and the roll calls and all of that, let's give a roll call to this chat as we are now 20 minutes into the show, and we appreciate all of you that are hanging out. So, Donald, let's get a little old-fashioned roll call from you.
Hey, let's go. And who better than Mr. Barros? My man, great to see you back in the chat. Morning, my son. Morning, Donald. Morning, my man. And Tats. And everyone in the chat, sorry I'm late. Bro, just happy that you're here. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're getting better. We got Duran. Chimney Wong lost tens of millions, and the Yankees lost an ace due to interleague play. Yeah, but that doesn't matter anymore because they don't have we're not obviously using pitchers hitting anymore, so thank God. It's so much better having DHs on both leagues. I know it's not what the old school people want to hear, but I think it's for the better for pitcher safety because we did lose a heck of a pitcher in Chien-Ming Wong. Although it was always fun to watch CC Sabathia and hit because he was a really good hitter. And David Cohn had his moments as well, actually. You know what? Back in the day. Anyway, let's go back what we got here. Wonder how the bleacher creatures will handle this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a hell of an atmosphere. I really do think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Jason saying this is rivalry week. They really want us to boo the heck out of Soto. It's good for baseball. I completely agree. I concur, man. It's great for baseball. This is really good for baseball. I think interleague play has lost its luster, says FJ. I'd rather see it fade away. To be honest, it's lost its luster because we play National League teams pretty regularly now. It's no longer like a big kind of a thing that you get a couple of weeks in July. Now you get it basically all year long. Don't even call interleague play anymore. It is what it is. It's just baseball. Just like NBA now. You're just Eastern Conference playing the Western Conference pretty regularly. It is what it is. Elliot, of course the players on both sides downplay the rivalry, but there is something exciting about getting extra excited about going to battle on the baseball fields against such a local rival. Elliot, you can tell, is definitely excited about this. And we love that. And you're not wrong, man. But John the Beagle Dad says he doesn't care about the little cousins, and I'm completely concur with you there, John the Beagle Dad. Do not care. Jared's going, let's go New York. That's true. Who else we got here in the chat? What else we got here? We got NFE got to say, just like Cano signed with the Mariners. I moved on. Very well said. I assume you were a big Cano fan. Dev says that they overpaid Soto. Not our problem. Not our problem anymore. But you could make the argument that the Yankees have done a pretty good job in terms of moving on themselves, that they've allocated their money fairly well. You know, they put their resources in Max Fried and you know, they got a bargain of an extension with Grisham option, I should say. The $5 million option that they got with Grisham is a steal. And Goldschmidt is one of the star signings of the year. Even though Bellinger doesn't look what we advertised, he's getting a little better now, but Goldschmidt has just been great. As we pointed out with Jason saying, I'm only booing because he said it's a Mets town. Yeah, I'm not looking too deeply into that because judging by his reactions ever since the season started, I think he misses the Yankees. I really do. But again, it's not our problem, but I'm pretty sure he does miss the Yankees. Equal opportunity booing from both sides is only natural. Completely agree. All very good points from those in the chat. As I say, we got Jason from 161 in the chat as well. So salute to Acevedo as well. Great to see everybody in the chat. Duran says, Goldschmidt! My God, what a signing he's turned out to be. Facts!
Let's give a special shout out to Eric, Mariners fan. Say congrats on winning that last series. Thank you, and welcome to the chat.
Yeah,
Mariners have a potential to be a really good team. I just wish their bats were a little more consistent because at full strength, that pitching is so filthy.
Yeah.
Logan Gilbert, who I really, really like. Kirby, Castillo, Wu is phenomenal.
Wu's brilliant.
Miller, they have so much pitching that if they can just get a really good offense out there, that's going to be a dangerous team in the West. It's just they don't really have the bats for it, which is a shame because that pitching should not be going to waste.
No.
But thank you, Eric.
It's a huge loss. The fact that they don't have the kind of hitting that their pitching merits. On the Cano one from Eric, I was actually one of the only fans out here who was glad that because of the drugs he was ineligible for the postseason. That's a good point.
Yeah, I've talked to Eric in a few other streams. It's good to see him back with the Chronicles talking with us. So appreciate that, Eric. And then Ken Claus is saying the 17 in the chat, 9 likes. Let's hit the like button, support the channel. Couldn't say it better myself. Look, yeah, the Mariners, Eric, should really they should be in way better standings than they are. They got to really take the trade deadline seriously and beef up that offense because, like Rob said, I mean, that pitching staff is just sitting there wasting away. I mean, that's probably one of the. It was the same last year. It was probably the most, solid rotation in all of baseball, and it's just sitting there. It's a shame.
I do love Castillo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Their offense is a little bit better right now, than it was last year. They're still in first place, but they can run away with that thing if their offense was more consistent. And if their pitching was
we're
healthy.
not going to shit on 23-19. I mean, that's a pretty good record. Like if they're first place, ahead of the Rangers and Astros, and
just keep the Astros buried. That's all we ask.
500. So I wouldn't say that the pitching is wasting away because obviously they're in first place, but you could just imagine with another strong bat that they'd be even better and be a real threat. Because just look at the bats that the Tigers have added. Now they're 29-15 and just running away with everything. The best team in the American League by far. So
Glaber and Baez are having a phenomenal season.
That was a great pickup. Glaber Torres was a pickup and it was a steal. It was an absolute steal because I think he was undervalued around the league, even though he did it to himself because his base running and his defense was so horrific that the analytics were like, we can't, the analytics will be like, we can't back up giving this guy a big contract. But the guy's a fantastic hitter. Just need to give him a little bit of a belief. And the Tigers have done that, and he's just been great.
Yeah, I think I know we're a little off topic here, but it's I think that in the beginning of the year when they were saying it's the Yankees and everybody else in the American League, now that we're a solid a month and a half into the season, you're really starting to see some of these teams take shape and really show that they're here to play. I don't think the American League is going to be as easy as the season goes on as for us as people are expecting. Which is hopefully just keeps the Yankees' eye on the ball and really solidifies whatever they need to as the season develops.
It won't be easy. The Red Sox are very good. I know they're struggling right now, but they will get better.
Yeah. But
to be fair, we could be a good 5 games better if Devin Williams wasn't astronomically bad the first month.
True.
And if we did have Garrett Cole or Luis Gil, we'd probably have a good 7 more wins. It's not excuses. I'm not saying that, just because they're hurt. It's just saying that this team could be even better. But because of that, you're seeing it's very close in the standings now. The Central, outside of the White Sox, of course, is actually really good.
Yeah. Let's go to Duran's point here because let's get back on topic regarding the Yankees. I've gone over some info for the offseason. Yankees have 5 good prospects that need Rule 5 protection, so it is likely there'll be some trade action on them. And he mentions Jones, Elmer Rodriguez, Cam Schlittler, Brock Selvage, and Chase Hampton. Well, the Yankees are all in on Chase Hampton, right? Unfortunately, his injuries have really hurt because his stock was sky high, and the Yankees refused to have Chase Hampton involved in many big-time trade discussions. So I would be surprised if the Yankees move on from him because they've put so much faith in him they're going to probably hope that he rehabs from his injury and comes back. Brock Selvage, maybe. I could definitely see Elmer Rodriguez and Cam Schlittler as possibilities. Jones, don't think so. But I think you're right. I think those guys, Brian Cashman does tend to move guys that will, they'd struggle to protect in the Rule 5. That tends to be the moves that he tends to make. So you could definitely see some of these guys being moved at the deadline.
Yeah, and I know Cam is one that I had highlighted, as the prospect of the month for March, for April rather. But it's, I was following what Nathan was posting from the game yesterday, and he's got strikeout stuff, which is going to give him value. He got, when they were making contact on him, they were putting up runs. But he did have, I think he had like 8 strikeouts in his outing yesterday. And so, but he did give up 4 or 5 runs. But it's, so he might be somebody that you might have to just move on from if you can get something. But I would prefer that they really try to keep all those guys on there. Especially Selvage. He's a guy that we've been talking about for a couple of years now. We've been keeping an eye on. But it's, if the offer's there, sometimes you got to make a tough decision.
I don't think Hampton's at risk of going anywhere because no one's gonna pick up a guy coming off Tommy John for the Rule 5. I just don't see it happening. Selvage is still coming back from injury. He could be expendable if he gets healthy in time by the deadline, which he should, I believe, and maybe because the Yankees have so much pitching. Like Elmer Rodriguez Cruz came out of nowhere. I think we got him in the Narvaez trade, and he's been outstanding. Like guys like LaGrange and a lot of our draft picks from last year have been phenomenal. The Yankees pitching in the minor leagues right now is really good. It's like the lower levels, like AA and lower. AAA, it's besides Winans, it's not really there. But a lot of those AA and single A arms are killing it right now, and it could make a Chase Hampton expendable. It could even make a Cam Schlittler expendable, but I think Schlittler is the one that's closest out of all those guys. So, and considering our pitching depth has taken such a hit this year, you might want to hold on to that. Yeah. But maybe you trade from some of the lower levels. But I think there's a couple of guys that they're going to make maybe untouchable, and I feel like Schlittler's one of them because they're very high on him. We saw him a lot in the spring, and LaGrange is another. And the way that Rodriguez Cruz has kind of shot up since we got him, maybe he could be a sell high candidate, but so far the lower level pitching has been very, very strong. And I think you want to see it get better, but our draft picks from last year, guys like Cunningham and Hess, like they have been outstanding. So keep an eye on those prospect rankings by midseason, because you could see a few Yankees there in the top 100. We already saw Lombard jump from like 88 to 20. So there's going to be some more Yankees joining that list sooner than later. And Schlittler might be one of them, the way he's pitching.
Yeah, the pitching is definitely, it may not be in AAA, but like you said, in double and single, the development is really progressing very, very well. Especially after, it's good to see after all the trades we had to make that did give a hit to our depth. But it seems like they've replenished that without even a blink of an eye. So that's good to see.
Good drafting. My dad wants my hat. Well, next time you're here, you can have it. But until then, it's mine.
That is a pretty cool hat.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Did you guys see Andy Martino's joint Yankee Met team?
No,
I don't really pay attention to him.
Well, just for fun. How about we do our own? Right? Here's what he put together. Thoughts. Obviously, Austin Wells is in there. He's chosen Alonso over Goldschmidt. He's got Acuna at second. He's got Vientos at third. Obviously, Lindor at short. Finding Nemo in left field. Grisham in center and Judge in right. And he's got DH Ben Rice.
Where's Soto?
Exactly.
Hold on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. What?
Wow.
I agree with most of that because Alonso's having a great year. We don't have a second baseman right now or a third baseman, so that makes sense. Lindor, you take every day over Volpe. Everything else kind of checks out, but where the hell is Soto?
Interesting. How can you possibly defend that though, right? And I hate the name, the New York Yankees.
Yeah, that's corny.
That's
I mean, the only one I could think of that would have been like a toss-up is first base because Alonso and Goldschmidt are both having a phenomenal start to their years. I mean, I would give the edge to Goldie, but I mean, you can't dismiss what Alonso's been able to do for somebody that usually, even like players like Lindor that usually have a terrible April is playing really well. This is going to be a battle this weekend.
So let's do our own then.
All right.
Any argument regarding Austin Wells being the catcher? I highly doubt it.
No. He's the better of the two right now. So yeah, Alvarez is great though. I do like him.
Would you guys, if you're being honest, would you guys put Goldschmidt at first and Pete Alonso at DH?
Yes.
Rob?
Honestly, I'd leave Alonso at first and I'd put Soto at DH.
Okay, so Rob's going a little different. So here's what I would probably do. I'd have Goldschmidt at first, right? Now, second base, shortstop, and third base. There's no argument because we don't have a third baseman. At the moment, our second baseman's hurt, and he was ass when he got hurt, before he got hurt anyway. And shortstop, I mean, that's the biggest mismatch ever. So definitely no argument there. I would have Pete Alonso DH. Sorry, Ben Rice. Love you, bro. You're just going to have to be the backup catcher. Aaron Judge and right. I'm going to put Soto in left. And I think I'm probably sticking with Grisham. So Uncle Tats, and my starting pitcher would be Fried as well. All right, Uncle Tats, it's your turn. Then Rob, obviously, because he'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you would change. I would just, and I would still. I know it sucks, the oversight of Soto, but I would still give the edge to Alonso for the DH spot and Goldie at first. I think Vientos, because we really don't have a third baseman right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a question mark for us. So, and Vientos is legit. He's a solid player. Lindor, it's Lindor. I mean, he's got to play short. Left field, I think would be one that would be a toss up. But I would leave Nimmo just because he does have a really good eye at the plate.
Okay.
And he has more experience playing in left field at this stage of his career. Not that he's, I could think Dominguez will would end up being the better player down the line, but in this moment, I think Nimmo has the edge for that. Center and right, I mean, that you could lock in every day of the week, 12 years down the road. That'll never change. I think the Yankees definitely have the pitching edge. I think our rotation, I want to get through the starting.
So just to be clear, so you got Nemo left, and I'm calling him Finding Nemo. Don't care. Got Finding Nemo in left field, right? Are you moving Aaron Judge to center and then Soto in right? Is that what you're doing?
No. I'm leaving center and right field the way it is with Grisham and Judge.
Oh, fuck. So Soto isn't even in your team?
No.
Oh, come on. You lost me there, bro. All right. Well, you're with Andy Martino there. All right, Rob, bring us home.
So Soto has to be there. whether or not you want to put him in the outfield is the big question, because you could easily replace him with Nimmo and just leave everything else the way it is.
Yep.
Alonso's having a fantastic season. Like, he's got 1,000 OPS. He's hit 9 home runs, I think. Like, he's off to a brilliant start. Nimmo isn't. And you know what's funny is if our second and third base options were not so bad, we would actually be able to get one of our guys in there. Because Luis Angel Acuna is not having a great season so far. Neither is Vientos. McNeil's actually been better, but I think he's been hurt a little bit. You can argue McNeil over Acuna, actually. But there's not a lot of Yankees that I would replace because Alonso's been better than Goldschmidt. That's saying something because Goldschmidt's been really freaking good, but Alonso has been better. I don't want to be Yankee bias here. Obviously, Judge is staying. Grisham has to stay, but you got to get Soto in there. I would probably consider either Soto at DH or just putting him in left field, and that's a big defensive issue, though. Who is better in left field at this point, Dominguez or Soto? Because I would replace Nimmo with Dominguez right now. Dominguez has been better.
I agree. I think Dominguez has been better than
he has been better than Nimmo. Yeah. There's no question about that. I might have an all Yankee outfield and just replace Rice, as much as I like him, with Soto, because I give the pitching edge to us with Fried. As if we're going just one starting pitcher, as the graphic has here, we're not going to get into the bullpens because that can go all day. It might be a mostly Mets offense, but you got to go with Soto at somewhere in this team. Like,
that's insane. Tats, come on, Juan Soto.
I know. I'm
like the third best player in baseball, arguably the second best player in baseball. You don't have him in your outfield.
Well, I know I'm really second guessing my judgment here.
Give me an I'll go all Yankee outfield, all Mets infield, with the Met DH and the Yankee catcher. That's pretty even, I think. Out of a 9-man lineup, you got 5 Mets, 4 Yankees. That's about right, because if Bellinger was having a better year, we can consider him there, but they have the infield options over us. It's not even a toss-up, but as better as Volpe has been this season compared to last, Lindor every day of the week. Like, you don't think about that. So
I think it's the biggest mismatch in the entire team is the
Judge over I guess they're right fielder Soto, but Judge is having such a historic season. But and it's not to say the Yankees are like terrible, because we still have the best offense in baseball right now. But like, if you're picking between the two teams, I think you go with 5 Mets, 4 Yankees. That's a pretty good mix. You got to get Soto in there. It's something like at the expense of Ben Rice, as much as I like what he's done.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at the factor with the defensive alignment in the outfield is something I always factor in. I mean, offensively, yes, Soto would be there 10 days. He would be there all the time. But when you look at with first base DH, somebody's got to be the odd man out, and I would have a hard time just putting Goldschmidt or Alonso on a bench. So that was my mindset when I was making my decision.
That's what I agree with.
If it's between those three,
we're definitely in alignment with that. I'm completely in alignment with that. Like, I have Pete as a DH because he's a pretty average first baseman. Goldschmidt's a very good first baseman. Plus, he's batting like 350. It's very hard not to have Goldschmidt in my team. So I've got 2 of them. I've got both of them in my team, and I got Soto in the team. I don't think there'll be too many Met fans that'll disagree. Plus, they're basically the infield.
Yeah, I mean, if we want, we could. If you want to go, who's the closer? I mean, Weaver or Diaz. That's a good conversation.
That is a good conversation.
Weaver's been fantastic.
Who do you go with?
I think that's a push. I don't think there's a wrong answer there.
Good thing is there's room for both, so we can have both. It's an 8-man bullpen. We can have both of them. The Mets have really good pitching this year. Like, to their credit, Clay Holmes has actually been surprisingly really good. I'm looking at his just at their numbers right now. Like, believe it or not, Diaz has not been as good as advertised, but he's still solid numbers. Their highest ERA is a 4.32. Wow. I mean, their rotation's been really freaking good. Clay Holmes is a 3.14 out of the rotation. That's really good. So
really,
yeah, give them credit. That their pitching factory is very, very good. They've got something good brewing over there. So as much as I hate that fan base, the team is very good. I can respect the team.
They're well developed.
A very good, very well developed team. They got a very strong roster, top to bottom. It's not even like full strength, so like they're gonna get better. And they got an owner that's willing to add, I don't know how much more salary, but if there's a position of need, he will go get it. That's a scary team.
Well, let's take a quick look at the pitching matchup. But we'll go through the starters for the series, and we'll see who because we have McGill and Rodon tonight. McGill is 3-3 with a 3.10 ERA. Rodon's 4-3 with a 3.29 ERA. So this is an interesting matchup to start the Subway Series with these two teams, and it almost you don't know whether it's going to be another pitching duel because we know these two guys can really shut it down when they're on their game, or this could just be a very high scoring game. You can also see a way where there's a lot of offense. And so I think this one's going to be a really interesting kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good pitching series throughout. I think Schmidt's going game 2, and then Fried's going the Sunday night game. So that'll be
game 2 is going to be Canning and Schmidt.
Yeah, Canning and Schmidt, and then I don't think we see Senga or Holmes, right? If I'm not mistaken. Kind of wish we did.
The third game is Peterson versus Fried. That's going to be an interesting close to this. That's going to be an interesting matchup.
I think Sunday's going to be great. Sunday's going to be fun.
Well, anytime Max Fried pitches, you got to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a 1.11 ERA. I mean,
and surprisingly, that last start against Seattle was one of his worst of the season.
Yeah,
pretty good.
He gave up a run, and we were fuming.
It's crazy. I think it's the best. Yeah, as I mentioned in the previous podcast, it's historic start for Max Fried. It's one of the best ERAs that we've ever had since fucking like 1912 or some shit. Insane.
Sean said, Rodon the bearded bulldog. I like this comment from Mr. Barrows here. If Rodon can get out of the first inning, run free, he'll have a good game.
Just has to avoid the walks.
Yeah.
It's really the whole runs with him.
Yeah, the last start. Like I've been saying this, if you look at his starts this year, it's been one pitch that has doomed him almost every single time. Against San Francisco, against Detroit. His last start against was it the Athletics? He gave that just one bad pitch, and it's the walks that lead to the bad pitch. 3-run home run each and every time. That's been doing him in. Other than those bad pitches, he's been outstanding this year. Like he's been better than he was last year, and it's just he's figuring it out. But it seems like sometimes he can't stop the walks, and that leads to the big inning. But it's been that one inning and that one pitch in that one inning that has been killing him this season. But yet he's still got like a 3.1 ERA. I think every single one of us would have signed up for that a month and a half in.
Yeah.
Elliot says the exercise of combining Yankee and Mets players on one team shed light that the team is greater than the sum of its parts.
Thank you, philosopher Spencer.
Get Lynn from the upper deck. What's going on, Lynn? If you missed last night's show, make sure you check out History and Heroes with Lynn, along with Sierra and Spencer, as they took a look back at Yankee history. She's saying Rodon has been keeping his head on straight when he does. It's a rough spot, and that's made the huge difference. Hope it continues tonight. Yeah, it really and that's part of what we've been saying all the time. That tribute video is going to sit well tomorrow. You think there's going to be a tribute video? I don't think so.
It might just look a quick highlight reel, like thank you.
Yeah,
I guess it's considered a tribute video. Yeah, I guess it's considered a tribute video. Yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting.
I mean, I have a hard time believing they wouldn't do it because he without him, they don't get to the World Series last year.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's why I don't want to. I can't campaign for the FU chats because it's not like he was here and he was just a bust.
He's freaking amazing.
He is the reason, like we were saying, he's the reason why we were in a World Series.
Facts.
So I just find it really hard to just turn around and be like, all right, now I didn't get what I wanted with you staying in the Bronx. So it's a tough call. There's a myriad of sports emotion that does that's going to factor in.
I'm in the minority. I wish Soto well, man. I wish him well.
Yeah.
I hope he does well.
He's not in the division, so
I hope he doesn't win anything, but I hope he does well because he's freaking great. Absolute joy to watch, and he's a good dude as well. He's not this horrible. So and so what people make him out to be. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a good dude. He works hard, hell of a hitter. He loves the game. He's a gamer. Never misses a game. He's one of the dudes that you root for in the league. If he was an asshole, I wish he was an asshole because that means I could move on much easier. But the fact he's such a good dude and one of the greatest hitters that we've seen, I can't hate on him. I can't. I'm disappointed and I hate what he decided to do, but I'm not mad at it anymore. I've moved on. Life goes on.
You had your moment.
I did.
Yeah, he certainly did, ladies and gentlemen.
It was infamous. I lost my shit.
And your shirt.
I lost my shit and my shirt. And it was not pretty. Not good times for Donald. Not good times.
No.
Sunil's asking if we've done the awards yet. We haven't actually done that yet. We can run through that quickly because we can't let our guys down, can't let our people down. So yeah, we'll get an awards in very quickly. I think we could probably just list through it. We don't probably need to make a big song and dance this time because we've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
but yeah, let's run through the awards pretty quickly. We'll start with Rob, then Uncle T, and then I'll get mine in. So let's do it. Shut up, hit the like button and hit the sub button if you haven't already done so. You really appreciate it. Let's share this out to everybody. I hope everyone has a great weekend, regardless if you're a Met fan, Yankee fan, Knick fan. Have a great weekend. It's not Celtics fans, though. We'll wish you a good weekend. But everybody hit the like button. Right, let's get started with the awards. This is not really Donald's awards anymore. This is our awards. So let's start with Uncle Tats. Give me your awards, and we'll start off there.
Yeah, just to run through them, no deep dives. My MVP was Grisham. My low-key for Judge. Clutch Goldschmidt. The pitching, I went with Fried and Wu. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
It was a classic pitchers duel. You don't see them too often anymore. Boone, 7 out of 10. I did not have anybody to take an L. I did not give anybody a Hicks Award. I just thought it was a very clean series. Really nothing. I'm sure there'll be a lot more to go into after this weekend. And my boy, I went with Warren for back-to-back solid outings.
That's pretty good. So no L's and no Aaron Hicks.
No, who's
your boy Blue?
I have Warren.
Well, Warren's your boy Blue. All right. And the pitching award was Wu and
Fried and Wu for their outing.
All right. Well, I can't disagree with much of your contentions there, Uncle T. Let's go with Robinho.
And my MVP was also Grisham. He had a great series. Low key was Goldie. Pitching award goes to Luke Weaver. He was fantastic this series in relief. 2 innings in the game that we lost, and he closed out the finale. Aaron Boone gets a 9 out of 10 simply because he once again used Pablo Reyes. My boy is also Will Warren. Clutch, Aaron Judge, go-ahead home run. He's got the most RBIs since 2021 in the 8th inning or later. That has given his team the lead, but he's not clutch, I heard. I do have an L. It's Tim Hill. He was terrible this series. And my Hicks, Pablo Reyes. He's now a 2-time Hicks Award winner. He continues to get at bats and continues to do absolutely nothing. Pablo Reyes, please get off my baseball team. You're another Hicks Award winner.
Why did they put him in again?
For Vivas, who had a hit, by the way. They pinch hit him for Vivas, who had a hit in that game.
I'm sorry. I don't know what they're doing. It's insane. There's no logic to it. Right. Yes. My MVP, it's unanimous. It's Trent Grisham. He's ridiculous. He's definitely the MVP. Low-key MVP that you can have a discussion with. I'm going to give it to Goldschmidt again. He's just been kind of like the low-key MVP of basically the whole season. You know what I'm saying? It's the star of the show is obviously Judge, but just right under there is Goldschmidt, just doing his thing. So Goldschmidt for me is the low-key. The Clutch Award, that's easy. That's Aaron Judge. He hit the go-ahead shot. That's no doubt about it. So that was pretty clutch. So y'all complaining that Aaron Judge only hits home runs when we're up comfy, suck on that. So Aaron Judge gets the Clutch Award. Pitching Award, yeah, there's a bunch of shout-outs I could go. I'm probably just going to give it to Max Fried, although Will Warren does deserve a bit of credit. I thought Schmidt pitched well too. Weaver pitched well, but I'm giving it to Fried, even though he didn't have his greatest start, but he's still a pitching award winner because look at his numbers. It's just freaking ridiculous. So, Sean, sneaky pinch hit home run from Goldie. That's why he's my man. My boy Blue, I'm actually going to give it to Waldo because God bless Waldo. I'm so sorry, man. You didn't deserve that. You did not deserve that. No one deserves that, but someone who's such a good dude that he's the last person on the list of bad things that should happen to. He's just such a good dude, good player who works really hard, always available to the media, to fans, to have your opportunity ripped away from you, and it's just heartbreaking. So he's my boy Blue. We wish you well, everyone on behalf of Pinstripe Chronicles, everyone who works for us, everyone that's a part of this channel, everyone who watches this channel. I hope you all are wishing Waldo Cabrera a speedy recovery. Hope to see you next year, my guy. Rest up. So he is my boy Blue. My boy Blue. And let's go with the next one. Aaron Boone. I think he had a pretty solid series. I can't really argue with anything Aaron Boone did, although once again putting Pablo Reyes. So I'm giving him a 7. I'm not going to get too excited about it so he did put in Pablo Reyes, which leads me to my L, which is in fact Pablo Reyes. You are one hell of an awful player. Every time I see you, you remind me that you're actually even worse than I give you credit for. And that is impressive because I have absolutely no opinion of that's positive about your baseball abilities. You are stealing a living, Pablo. You are stealing a living. There is no way with a straight face that you can put on your LinkedIn page that you're a professional baseball player because there is nothing about you which is useful in terms of baseball. You should be selling 99 burgers in the Yankee concession stand. That should be your profession, and good luck to you. But on a baseball field, you suck. You suck so bad. You suck so incredibly bad. And I don't know what Aaron Boone sees in you because nobody else does. So that's my L. And my Aaron Hicks Award. Where's my Aaron Hicks? Where is he? Where is that absolute donut? I got to get him. I got to find him. Where is he? Where is he?
Where is he?
I can't even fucking find him. There he is. There's that asshole. There you are. You complete clown. You're worse than a Met. Aaron Hicks. My Aaron Hicks goes to Talking Yanks for sharing that really bizarre segment about Aaron Judge in a car accident in high school. That was such a massive, massive, massive mistake.
What the hell was that about?
What was it about? I don't know what they do in California in high school. It's not of interest to me, but it's definitely not of relevance to today. It doesn't matter. The only thing you should be talking about Aaron Judge with is the historical run that he's doing, right? He's batting 400. He's number one in every single category in baseball. Talk about that, Talking Yanks. I've got a bunch of respect for Talking Yanks. I mean, they're great at what they do. But this was a gigantic misstep.
That's a mess, yeah.
You don't clickbait that kind of shit. It was really freaking weird. It was very strange. It was bizarre. There's no way you can walk it back because they did a whole award segment going on. I'm really glad that Aaron Judge didn't die in a car accident in high school. What? That you should have absolutely deleted that segment ASAP. It was disgusting. So I am not on board with that because you don't want to put that juju out there. Even though it was meant to be for fun or games, there's nothing fun about that. There's seriously nothing fun about that. There's no way you can joke about that. People have had some really horrible instances with car accidents and stuff like that. You don't joke about that kind of shit. So that was a horrible, horrible mistake. And they should definitely take the Aaron Hicks Award for that. You know, be better. I shared it with Rob. Rob, what did you think?
It was weird because it was like some school project or something, like to show you what happens, the effects of a car accident, I think. What the hell was the point of that? Like, I don't know. Like, as some people are like, oh, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but like, it was just a weird award, you know? Like, I don't know. I was just very puzzled when you said, I was like, what the are they yapping about? Like, I'm glad you didn't die. I thought he actually got into a car accident when I first saw it. I was like, he did, and then I realized it was a school project. So I was like, what? Why the heck are they? What is it? I'm glad you didn't die in a car accident. Like, he wasn't in a car accident. So what was that about? Yeah, it was weird.
What up, Jonathan? Don't drink and drive demonstration.
Okay,
I mean, I know what it was. It's just why does it have any relevance?
No purpose.
There's like no relevance. Are you that desperate for things to talk about that you had to go back to Aaron Judge in high school doing a video in high school? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I would cringe if I got a video shared of me at 15 years old in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? So that's weird. Jonathan, good to see you in the chat, but were you not the first person to message? Oh,
I think it was John.
Jonathan. Who actually was the first person?
I'm pretty sure John got the early.
It was John the Beagle Dad.
John the Beagle Dad has Jonathan beat by.
You got the early bird award.
Yeah, early bird award is not Jonathan. Jonathan, you gotta be better, brother. You gotta be better. Anyway, love you, man. Thank you for joining. But that is our awards.
Yeah, a little sped up, but you know. We did want to, as we were talking, you know, over the last couple of days, we did want to make sure that we've got some time in to keep the tradition alive, following every series. So, but before we close this out, there's one thing I want to bring one more thing to the series this weekend, and is there a player on either team that you expect to rise to the rivalry of the Boroughs and just really just have a killer series? You know, somebody just that would not, that's really not being talked about, that can be come Monday.
That's a good question.
Grisham.
I mean, Grisham's kind of being talked about right now, you know.
No, but everyone's going to be talking about Soto and Judge and stuff like that.
Yeah. So besides Soto and Judge, like who do who's going to kind of steal the back page?
Well, I would list people that I wouldn't be surprised have a good series. Volpe's one of them. I mean, because he's kind of a guy that tends to do pretty well in big moments. Like he had a good World Series. So I have a feeling, because he's also a big Yankee fan, he's going to want to stick it to the Mets. I could kind of see that, but I'm not his biggest fan. So I'm going to go with Grisham, because Grisham, he's always a dude that he always looks unbothered, but always plays well in the clutch. So I think it's going to be him, and Goldschmidt's going to rake. Trust me, Goldschmidt's going to rake. The National League thing, he knows the Mets well. He's going to rake. He's going to have a good series. That's my contention.
I like Sean's Bellinger. This would be hopefully the series that he finally gets it all together. It's definitely not going to be any of our second or third base options. Dominguez. I think the Martian's going to have himself a big series.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, see, I'm going with Sean with Bellinger. That's the one I was kind of leaning towards when I led into the question.
No DJ LeMahieu?
No, not yet.
Square peg can have a better
before we bring
series.
him into the conversation.
But I do think it was pretty poetic that his first at bat, he was in a big spot, 10th inning, and he struck out. It's like, yeah, he's back.
Yeah.
The best indicator was the soft ground out.
Yep.
That
he had a hit though. He had a hit in his first start.
I'm telling you, don't sleep on DJ. He's gonna get an RBI in this series.
Yeah, but
Bellinger's fly to make it like 12-4 or something like that.
He's in LA, so his time is different.
Enjoy the sunshine, my guy.
That's right. He's on vacation.
Good for man,
went to LA.
What you doing in LA? Are you going to Hollywood or what? Universal Studios or something? Or
are you going to a Dodger game while you're out there? That's a good question.
That's an even better question.
Yep. But no, I'm thinking the way that Bellinger's really been kind of looking a lot more comfortable. He's starting to show signs that he's breaking out a little bit. I think this is a series that could really get Bellinger going. I think he's gonna I think he's gonna be lights out. You went already. Okay, good.
Doesn't mess around.
We know you, Jonathan. You can't stay away from a baseball game. But yeah, I think Bellinger's really gonna shine this weekend. I think he's gonna be the wild card.
I hope so.
Yep. But we'll see. And also, real quick, let's go Knicks tonight. All right, let's finish this finally, please.
Please.
Because then my prediction at work will be right when I said Knicks in 6.
Yeah,
so,
Knicks in 6? All right. Let's go.
I would have taken it in 5, but hey.
I just want to see Dave Portnoy cry online. That's all I want to see.
And that has actually been very pleasurable. He's so annoying.
He's just the worst.
I would never usually root for the New York, even though they're playing the Celtics in Boston, because fuck Boston, but it makes me I really wanted the Knicks to sweep them just because Portnoy is a Celtics fan. Obviously, I know that's not going to happen, but fucking hate that guy so much.
I hate him. What an awful person.
Really hate that
Just
guy.
a horrible person.
I hate him. I hate his company. I hate his face. I hate his pizza reviews. I hate his accent. I hate the guy behind the camera. I don't even know who it is. I hate everybody that works for Barstool. I hate that they're abusing that.
Anything that enables
guy. Anything that has worked for Barstool. I hope you fall in a ditch and like stub your toe or something. Step on a Lego. Portnoy though, I hope he just has like a really bad injury to like his face or something. I hate that guy so much. He deserves the worst in life.
Absolutely does. He doesn't deserve good things.
No. But we do, and hopefully Monday we'll be back with some good news about the Yankees taking the series from the Mets in the Bronx. Yeah, definitely more than Salicata. Yeah.
Oh,
actually, that's for another day, maybe.
It's kind of 1A, 1B there. If you put them in the same room, NFE can say, "There you go." Take.
Oh, dude! If Juan Soto goes 0 for 3 in this game with a walk, Salicata is just going to start he's going to spontaneously combust and call him every name under the sun.
You could take everyone from WFAN and Barstool and like put them in a room and just let them sit there for the rest of eternity. I'd be very happy.
They would
We don't
just
have to hear their takes.
They would just argue each other to death.
Yeah, be a bunch of idiots from WFAN. Leave Dave Sims and Susan Waldman though. Like, just keep them.
Oh yeah, they're cool.
I feel so bad they're
Yeah,
associated.
they're more
with that
Yankee
terrible
employees
company.
than the network. Yeah.
Fuck WFAN. Fuck Barstool Sports. Fuck Dave. Fuck the Boston Celtics. I don't even like the Knicks, but fuck the Boston Celtics.
Let's go. What a great way to end this show.
So with that, make sure you hit that like button if you've enjoyed all the laughs and the discussion today. Hit that sub button if you want to join the chat in the future. And make sure you share this out with your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. This is the Pitchfork Chronicles. I'm Uncle Tats with Rob, Donald, and all of you fine people. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Subway Series. Enjoy the basketball playoffs. Wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.
Go Yanks.
Let's go.